And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. What we're going to talk about today is the question, should you get good grades? Now, the answer is, it depends. It always depends. But let me clear out what I think about schooling in general. Being raised as an A to A plus student, okay, from 6 years old until I was 18 years old, for 12 freaking years, I studied pretty hard. And I was just simply good at school. I was just way ahead of everyone else in basically almost every single subject. And in Norway, they have the grades 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6 being the best, and that's kind of like A+. And 5 was like A. And then B was like 4, right? I basically went throughout my entire schooling having A+ and A's, okay? Even going to the States for my exchange year as a high school student, I basically got straight A's, okay? There was 1 A-. Like, it's ridiculous how good at school I was. Now, what were the positive things that it gave me? Well, it definitely gave me self-esteem. The fact that I was ahead of the pack, getting a lot better grades than most of the other students, gave me self-esteem to the point of realizing that, you know what, I'm gonna become awesome no matter what it is that I choose to do with my career. Now, knowing that, it's helped quite a lot, right? But at the same time, I could have gotten that self-esteem from anything else, all right? And it did not require for me to be at school for 30 to 40 hours every single week from the time I was 6 years old to the point where I was 18 years old. So what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to help you to not waste time and not waste your youth on thinking about good grades. Because what do people tell you? Get good grades, get as much good education as you can, and then get a good job. Now, a job stands for just over broke. If you have a job, or if your parents have a job, they're basically just over broke. Now, they have money, they're middle class, they can, go on vacation sometimes once or twice a year, and they can buy pretty much whatever they want on credit, and then they can buy a house and then pay it down over time. But it's middle class, okay? In this day and age, the way we're living today is the easiest in all of human history to get rich, okay? And it's just as easy to get rich as it is to be poor and middle class. In fact, it's a little bit harder to get rich in the beginning compared to the other two, but you end up having it pretty easy the rest of your life simply because you prioritized correctly in the beginning, right? So what should you do if schooling is not that important? As a 12-year-old, I would start thinking, because now you're beginning to think about, I want to get rich, I want to, do this when I grow up, I want to do this when I grow up. At this point in time, it's time to be able to talk to your parents and say, you know what, I don't want to be in school, and I want to be homeschooled. Please, homeschool me, right? So, if I were in your situation, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, and up to 18 for that matter, I would ask them and beg them to be allowed to be homeschooled. Not necessarily by them, okay? Maybe they want to hire a mentor or a tutor or a coach of some sort to help you to pass your exams with flying colors, if that's what you want to do. So the reason why I would do that is because with the extra time allotted, okay? Like in most countries, you still have to do the minimum requirements of schooling, which basically means that at the end of the year, you just simply take an exam to see that you're on par with all the other students in general. And in order to be on par with other students in general, if you're actually focused and disciplined, it takes about 1 hour of study per day. If you do that, you'll actually be a straight A student anyway. All right? Maximum 2 hours a day. Because if you do that, then you're done. You've got the rest of the day to do whatever it is you want to do. All right? And the focus then will be to learn as much as possible, right? Schooling is not about learning. It's just schooling, all right? It's mostly a waste of time, but you got to do it because the government requires it until a certain age. And then the rest of the time, you basically can divide that up into doing the stuff you love to do. So let's say, for example, you want to be a professional basketball player. Then you would try to become a professional basketball player on a daily basis. Be disciplined. Do the things that you need to do in order to do that. If you want to be a professional gamer, there are some people these days that actually become professional gamers and make millions gaming, all right? They set up a YouTube channel or Twitch channel, and then they enter into tournaments, and they become really good at it. They get mentors, and like, you've got that, or you've got anything else. The world is yours. Even as a 12 to 18-year-old, you can choose whatever it is you want to do, and I would just not recommend wasting it on school, right? Unless you want to become a doctor, lawyer, or an accountant, which are very high-paid salaries, and you just simply think that you will enjoy those lifestyles. Make sure you study those lifestyles and the people who are doctors, lawyers, and accountants to find out if you actually want to be and do what they do, simply because they have a fantastic lifestyle. Then I would study as much as you can and enter into college as fast as you can. Not when you're 18 or 19. Why not enter college when you're 15 or 16? Because you've passed the necessary exams in order to enter into college. Believe it or not, in Norway, that's actually possible. Or in general, start working for a company where you want to be like the owner of that company. If the owner works in that company, let's say it's one of the top 500 richest people in Norway or in the country that you live in, and you basically say, I want to work directly with him. And then you say you want to work for free, you want to be a busboy, you just want to do whatever it is that's required, and then you work until they see that wow, this guy is disciplined, he works hard, he wants to learn. You'll climb through the ranks like crazy, all right? I once met, when I drove Uber a little bit, I met a young guy who was like 22 years old, made a really, really good income working for a big car sales company in Norway, and he started there when he was 16, washing and preparing cars for sale. All right, guess what? Now he was offered the regional director position in that area of the company in Oslo. I was like blown away, and he was making like double the amount of money as his dad was making, who was like 30 years ahead of him in his career. Insane. But that is a fantastic way of starting a career. Just build yourself up like that, or do whatever it is else that you want to do. But trust me, don't waste time in school. It's a waste. And that comes from an A+ student who basically became class president in college his first year, right? Which was a waste of time. And then the second year, he started realizing, oh my gosh, I actually don't need this stuff if I'm going to get rich. They're only teaching me to get a job, but I don't want a job. I want to create jobs, right? I want to be an owner, a business owner, and then I don't need any schooling. So I quit the last year. I don't need my last year of college. I don't want it, right? Maybe in the future I'll just complete it simply because I want to be a fine finisher, but who cares? Get rich instead. There's two things you need to get good at. Get good at working with people and understanding people. And you can learn that from YouTube and books. And get good at money. Understanding money, right? Get yourself a coach, maybe a high-value coach, and just get started with your life, all right? And if you're worried about the social thing, get into as much sporting extracurricular stuff that you can. Like, for example, start with soccer, or start with basketball, or start with taekwondo, or anything else that you can meet people. And you can meet kids your age if that's what you want to do, because then you have your social in, and you make sure that, you know, you kind of on par with those guys. At the same time, you're just making a lot more money than they do, right? And that will also boost your self-esteem. It's simply just having a lot of time is what life is about, to do what you want to do. Trust me. Just make sure you're disciplined, right? And do things in a disciplined manner with the long term in view. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you again tomorrow.